I was a new nurse at our hospital and only been working there a couple of months. I had brought a patient of mine up to day surgery from the ER for an endoscopy, and they called back down and asked me to bring her family up because she only spoke Italian and not enough English, and they needed someone to consent for the procedure. After dropping them off, I walked past the waiting room to head back down the hall to the elevators. I took the back way to get to the ER, and the hallways are all deserted. It used to be the pediatric wing of the hospital, but that is all shut down for years, and the rooms are just empty and full of broken equipment and beds and crap. As I reached the old nurse's station at the T-junction between the pediatric hallway and the hallway that goes to the elevators, I saw a little girl standing across from the nurse's station further down the hall. She had big pigtails, was wearing a brown dress, white shoes, holding a teddy bear. I thought perhaps she was a family member who had walked away from the day surgery waiting room. I was concerned that she would go into one of the rooms and get hurt or lost, so I said, "Hey, little girl, what are you doing? You don't need to be over there. You're going to get hurt." And I walked around the nursing station to go grab her hand and bring her back. I shit you not, she vanished as I got about 15 feet away from her. Every hair on my body stood up straight, and I turned and ran like a bat out of hell down to the elevator. I pounded that button for what seemed like an eternity until the elevator got to the floor. As I got back to the ER, I walked up to the nurse's desk, white as a sheet. And one of the older nurses looked at me and said, "Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you?" I remember babbling like an idiot as I tried to tell them what happened. After listening to me for a moment or two, the nurse said, "Oh, you saw the little girl ghost. She's been around here for years." And I remember saying, "Well, thanks for telling me about it before this." Apparently the ghost has even been seen down in the ER, ducking in and out of patient rooms and peeking around curtains. My wife worked up on the 7th floor, and she said that one time on nights a whole row of patient rooms started yelling about a little girl that was running around in the rooms. There are Navajo, Zuni, and Hopi natives that work and go to the GIMC hospital I work at. I hear about the skinwalkers the most. Also, the floor I work on is haunted for sure. In one room I heard computer keys typing. I was in the room alone. Got up to see where the noise was coming from, and the noise stopped. I sat down and it started again. I asked a co-worker, and she freaked out and said, "Yes, it is an old co-worker who always did her homework for her masters in that room. She was killed in a freak car accident." Everyone seems to have heard the computer keys and knew to, because I said something about it the another day about room 9, and they were like, "Oh man, it's her again." There are ghosts of little children, and a surgeon that roamed the floor and moaning heard from room 5. I have heard it, and thought I have seen a little girl by room 5 and thought a patient was in the room. One night I had learned no one was there. I was very freaked out. They have hired a native medicine man to come to pray and lay safe on the floor. I was working in an ICU. Had a patient who would only repeat what was said to her and was with her all night. One time I went into the room and she started telling me all the ways she died. I died because of a narcotic overdose. I died because I took too much insulin. I died on a sunny Sunday afternoon, etc. Then later she looked up at the ceiling and said they're all still there. If you have a creepy, scary experience you would like to share, you email it at theunexploredandundiscovered@gmail.com.
Tiptoe through the tulips with me.